So welcome back to the Spurs 5 Tottenham Hotspur, with 19 days of the transfer window left, have announced something, but it isn't a new player, it's a new captain. Cuti Romero, our Argentinian World Cup winner, is going to succeed Son. Now, you would have said, wouldn't you? You would have said the natural successor surely would be Romero. James Maddison might have been in the mix, out for the season with a cruciate ligament injury. Who else? Vicario maybe, Bentancur maybe. Other than that, you start scraping around looking for captains, and there isn't really a lot of option to choose from. Now, Cuti Romero for me makes the most sense, but we will caveat that in a little bit. This is a winner. This is a guy that leads by example, and as he said this morning, he said he was very, very proud to be the captain of this great club, but also said that he's not a huge talker, that he leads by example by on the training pitch, on the football pitch, and by giving 100%. And that's fine. That seems to be the kind of new age captain, doesn't it, within the world of football. But you have to ask yourself this question, don't you? If Cristian Romero is going to be the captain of Tottenham Hotspur, what's happening with his contract situation? This is a man that's got 2 years left. Now, some might say, no need to panic, it's 2 years. He's got ages. But this is a man we know that's flirted with La Liga in the last year, coming out in interviews and saying, I want to play in La Liga. This is a guy that ran down the tunnel without saying goodbye to the Spurs fans. This is the guy that disrespected Thomas Frank by releasing a message to Ange Postecoglou about 25 minutes after Thomas Frank had been announced. Now, obviously, all of those things are very subjective. I completely get that. But when you look at all of those things and the fact that he hasn't signed a new contract, and what we're led to believe is that Cuti Romero has had a new contract put in front of him and hasn't signed it as of yet. But now let's read into the positive side of things. Does this mean that by Romero becoming the club captain that he might be close to signing a new contract, or he's indicated that he's going to sign a new contract? Does it indicate that Tottenham have given him assurances that they will be buying better footballers? I don't know. All of this is subjective. All of this is up in the air. But you would surely think that they must have had that conversation with him. Where's your head at, Cuti? Are you committed to Tottenham? Before we make you the captain, are you committed to this great football club? Now, surely, if he is, we will get that new contract signed. And we can all stop worrying about the whole will he, won't he? Now, I, for one, have been critical of Romero over the last 4 years, because for me, I think Romero is one of those that he's either absolutely brilliant or he's really poor. However, what I believe is that under this new manager, I think that Cuti Romero will become a more steady defender. And what I mean by that is more 7 and 8s out of 10s every week, rather than either a 9 or a 3 or 4. Now, some people might say that's harsh, but for me, far too many mistakes, far too many games where he doesn't look bothered. But undoubtedly, the quality is there. The talent and the quality is undoubtedly there with Cristian Romero. Hence why he was one of the mainstays of the Argentina team that won the World Cup and 2 Copa Americas. So the talent's there, and I don't think that's ever been in question. For me, it's more been around the mentality. Now, we know that in massive games, Cristian Romero thrives. Tonight, I expect him to have a great game. Massive game, trophy on the line, and there's that stat flying around. He's never lost a final. Now, some refute that. Some say, oh, he might have lost one at Atalanta. I don't know. To be honest, I don't really care. What I care about is that in the big games for Spurs, this guy become consistent and he could become a legend at the club. Could he become one of our best? Well, who knows? We've already just won a European Cup where he was one of the main reasons for that in the semi-quarter and the final, where his superb defensive partnership at the back in those games was brilliant. But now you've got a new manager, new ideas, new coaching. And what we do know about this is that Cristian Romero is going to be playing in a back four, not in a back two. So for me, I'm very pleased with that. What we do know is Thomas Frank will have immediate buy-in from Cristian Romero. The fact that he has just given him the captaincy. It's one of the first big decisions he's made, right? Who's going to be my captain? Cristian, it's you. Cuti, it's you. So, new times for Spurs, exciting era. But I want to go back to, have they promised Cuti Romero reinforcements by the way of a Savinho and Eze? Have they promised him that? Because I've always been a firm believer, and this is just me, some people won't look into this. I've always been a firm believer that if I'm a top player, and if I'm a Romero, I'm a Maddison, I'm that sort of level of player, and I come back from pre-season, I want to look around the change room and go, oh, look what we've just bought. Yeah, he'll do this. Oh, yes. Yeah, my club mean business. We've done that. I don't want to look around the change room and go, okay, 19-year-old, 18-year-old, more kids, more players from relegated teams. I want to look around and say, yeah, look at the calibre of players that we are signing. Now, he might do that already, and I reckon he will breathe. And Sean Butler and I had this conversation a while back where we said, about 3 months ago, go and get Paulinho. It's a no-brainer. Go and get Paulinho. Because if you do, two of the people that will breathe the biggest sigh of relief will be Romero and Van de Ven. A DM who sits in front of them, who sniffs out danger, and whose first thought is, can I get the tackle in to stop the ball going towards the centre halves? For me, that will be the biggest sigh of relief from Romero and Van de Ven. But then he's also seeing Kudus, a player he knows he can give the ball to and it won't bounce straight back because he's strong, because of his agility, because of his ball dribbling skills, his close control. Then he's seeing links. Savinho, Brazilian winger, plays for Man City, one of the best clubs in world football. Then he's seeing links with Eze, a Maverick, someone Arsenal want, so we know he's in demand. Do all of these things add up and make Cristian Romero sign a new contract? I think it may well do. And I hope and I think that we're going to see a much better Cristian Romero moving forward. Now, I might be wrong. I might be right. It's a football opinion. Who cares? But one thing we do know is we need a fully fit Romero and a fully fit Van de Ven so that we can keep a stable, reliable back four together. So listen, exciting times. Congratulations to Cuti Romero for becoming the captain of this club. I believe this makes him our 10th captain in the Premier League era, if I'm not wrong. Somebody will check that out. I'm pretty sure this makes him our 10th full-time captain. So, Cristian, thank you. Now sign a new contract. Let's move on with our lives. And Tottenham, let's get Savinho and Eze over the line. This could be a great week for Spurs. Or it could be an absolute nightmare. See you later. Take care. And as always, come on, you Spurs.